You know the feeling. It's not a blaring alarm. It's more like a quiet, constant hum in the background of your relationship. A low-level anxiety that never quite goes away. You do your best to ignore it. You list all the good things. You focus on happy memories. And you might even convince yourself that this just may be normal. Every couple has problems, right? Maybe you're just being too sensitive. Maybe you're just overthinking things. But that hum is still there. It's there when you wake up in the morning and when you're trying to fall asleep at night. It's that vague, on-edge feeling, like you're just waiting for something to go wrong. Even when things seem perfectly fine, you're not crazy and you're not making it up. That feeling has a name. It's your intuition telling you that you are ignoring red flags for the sake of very fragile peace. Today, we're going to talk about the quiet, sneaky signs of trouble that we're often taught to overlook. These aren't big, obvious deal breakers like cheating or overt abuse. These are more subtle behaviors that slowly eat away at your self-worth and steal your peace, leaving you in a state of constant low-grade stress. For those of you, if it's your first time, I welcome you. For those of you, if you're back, as always, welcome back. My name is Joe. I'm a life and relationship coach as well as a narcissistic survivor. So why do we do it? Why do we ignore things that so clearly disrupt our inner calm? The reasons are complicated and deeply human. A lot of the time, it comes from a deep-seated fear of conflict. We don't want to start a fight, so we swallow our feelings just to keep the peace. Or we might be terrified of being alone, a fear so powerful it could make us put up with things we don't know aren't right. Then there's confirmation bias, where our brains actively search for proof that our initial positive idea of someone is correct, which means we conveniently ignore anything that contradicts that perfect picture. We fall in love with someone's potential, or we get stuck chasing the high of the honeymoon phase, hoping it'll come back if we just try harder. If we have low self-esteem, we might feel like we don't deserve any better, or we doubt our own feelings. We tell ourselves we can fix them, that our love will be enough to change their bad patterns. But ignoring red flags doesn't make them vanish. It just gives them space to grow, wrapping around your life until you feel like you can't breathe. You end up walking on eggshells, constantly managing your partner's emotions and sacrificing your own needs to maintain a superficial calm. Today we're going to stop pretending. We're turning up that volume on that hum to finally hear what it's been trying to tell us all along. So here are the subtle red flags that you might be ignoring that's stealing your peace. This is one of the most common and damaging red flags. It's a mean-spirited criticism or cutting remark disguised as a joke. They'll say something that stings, often targeting an insecurity they know you have, your career, a new hobby, or your friends, even how you look. But when they see you're hurt, they don't apologize. They'll flip it on you. The classic line, "I was just kidding. Why are you so sensitive?" It's like a 1-2 punch. First, they insult you. Second, they make you feel crazy for reacting to the insult. This is a quiet form of gaslighting, designed to make you believe that you're actually the problem for having a perfectly normal emotional response to what they say. For example, you tell them you're excited about going for a promotion at work. They reply, "Wow, that's ambitious for someone who can barely get out of bed in the morning, isn't it?" When you get upset, it's, "Relax, I was just joking. You can never take a joke." The problem is the toll this takes on your peace is devastating. It creates an environment where you can never truly relax, because you're always waiting for the next joke. Over time, you might just stop sharing things altogether to avoid the ammunition. The self-silencing is a defense mechanism, but it erodes who you are and creates a profound loneliness inside the relationship. Do you feel like you're the official emotional manager of your relationship? I have too. Are you always the one who has to smooth things over, de-escalate tension, and apologize first, even when you've done nothing wrong? I have too. If that sounds familiar, you're paying the peacekeeper tax. This happens when your partner refuses to take responsibility for their own emotions. They might give you the silent treatment or stonewall you during a disagreement, leaving you to desperately try to fix things in unbearable silence. Let's just say you try to bring up a small issue, like feeling like they haven't been very present lately. Instead of talking about it, they just shut down. They become cold, quiet, and withdrawn. And the tension in the room becomes so thick that you can't stand it. So, what do? You end up taking back what you said and apologizing just to get them to talk to you again. You say, you know what, forget it, it's my fault. I think I'm just being needy. Silence is broken, but the price you paid was your own voice. And the impact? Your emotional well-being becomes completely dependent on their mood. You're carrying the emotional weight of two people now, constantly scanning their state of mind to prevent a shutdown. It becomes exhausting. It drains you of your own emotional reserves and makes it impossible to find your own peace when you're always trying to manage someone else's. This red flag almost never happens all at once. It's a gradual, subtle process of separating you from your friends and family. It doesn't usually sound like, you can't see your friends anymore, but it's much quieter. It sounds more like, you're going out with them again? I thought you were going to have a night in with me. They might also start planting little seeds of doubt, making negative comments about your loved ones to make you question their loyalty to you. For instance, after you get back from coffee with your best friend, your partner might say something like, I just don't know if she really has your best interests at heart. The way she was talking about her other friends was kind of sketchy. They create an us against the world narrative. It could feel romantic at first, but it's really just a control tactic. The thing is, the effect that this can have on your peace is huge. Your support system is your reality check. Your friends and family are the ones who can see things from the outside and say, hey, the way they talk to you is just not okay. By slowly cutting you off from them, a partner makes you more and more dependent on them for validation and your sense of self. You start to lose perspective, and their unhealthy behavior just becomes your new normal. Listen guys, I've been there. If any of this is starting to hit home from you, and you feel like that hum of anxiety is getting a little louder, just take a second to acknowledge it. That's your intuition trying to keep you safe. Let me know in the comments which one of these red flags resonates with you the most. You'll probably be surprised by how many people are experiencing the same exact thing. And if you're finding this video helpful, please subscribe and click the notification bell, because reclaiming our peace is what we're all about here. A supportive partner is your biggest cheerleader. An insecure partner sees your success as a personal threat. This red flag often is a lukewarm or flat response to your good news or subtle jabs that diminish your accomplishments. You come home thrilled because you got a raise. What's their response? Oh, cool. So does that mean you'll be working even later from now on? Or maybe it could be something as simple as showing them a piece of furniture you built. Instead of being impressed, they point out one tiny invisible flaw and say, you almost got it perfect. They might even make fun of your hobbies or passions, making you feel silly for even caring about them. This constant, subtle undermining is a direct assault on your self-esteem. The result is that you start to shrink yourself to make them feel bigger. You downplay your achievements. You stop sharing your wins because you already know their reaction is going to be a letdown. You're essentially dimming your own light so you don't make them feel insecure. This is a quiet form of self-abandonment. True peace comes from being with someone who isn't afraid of your shine. This is a silent killer of so many relationships. It's the crushing weight of everything left unsaid. It's every boundary that got crossed, every hurt that was just brushed aside, and every apology you deserved but never really got. Those moments don't just disappear. They pile up like dust in an empty house until you can barely breathe. Listen guys, this isn't about avoiding arguments. Disagreements are actually healthy for a relationship. This is about you being in a relationship where you can't resolve conflict in a healthy way. When you feel like you can't bring something up because you're terrified of their reaction, you start building an emotional wall, brick by brick. Conversations become shallow, carefully tiptoeing around the unresolved issues. The impact is a deep, painful feeling of disconnection. On the outside, you might look like the perfect couple, but underneath it all, there's a chilling distance. This fake peace, born from avoiding conflict, is one of the loneliest feelings in the world. You're with someone, but you feel completely alone. True peace doesn't come from avoiding hard conversations. It comes from feeling safe enough to have them together. When you look at all these red flags together, the backhanded jokes, the constant peacekeeping, the slow isolation, and the undermining of your wins, and the refusal to resolve conflict, a clear pattern shows up. At their core, these behaviors aren't about love. They're about control and a deep lack of respect. They almost always come from a partner's own insecurities, which they then project onto you. When someone constantly puts you down, it's because they don't feel good about themselves. When they try to control you, it's because they're terrified of losing you, but don't have the tools to build a connection based on trust. When you ignore these behaviors, when you choose that fragile peace, you are unintentionally letting the dynamic continue. You're teaching them that how they treat you is okay. And even worse, you're teaching yourself that your needs don't matter. Just recognizing these red flags is a huge first step. So what do you do now? The answer isn't always to pack your bags and leave immediately. The journey to reclaiming your peace often starts with small internal shifts. First, you got to be honest with yourself. You have to accept that parts of the relationship are unhealthy. Stop making excuses for their behavior. Stop telling yourself it'll get better on its own if you ignore it. Acknowledge the truth of how their actions are actually making you feel. If you need to, write it down. Journaling can be a powerful way to see the patterns clearly. Second, start small. Start with just one boundary. You don't have to fix everything overnight. The next time they make this joke about you that stings, you don't have to start a huge fight. You could just say calmly but firmly, I know you think you're being funny, but that actually hurts my feelings. I'd appreciate it if you didn't say something like that again. You're not looking for a fight. You're just stating a basic need. Third, start reconnecting with yourself. What hobbies did you let go of? Which friends drifted away from you? Make a real effort to bring those people and activities back into your life. Rebuilding your support system is one of the most important things you can do to get your perspective back. Ignoring red flags is a quiet betrayal of yourself. You're telling yourself that the counterfeit peace of a troubled relationship is more valuable than your own mental and emotional health. You deserve more than that. You deserve a love that feels like a safe harbor, not one that keeps you on high alert. Remember, real peace isn't the absence of conflict. It's the presence of respect. By refusing to turn a blind eye any longer, you aren't starting a war. You're finally choosing yourself. You're starting to heal. And that's where your true peace begins.